Hi everyone, today's practice is called Foggy Brain. And so if brain fog is one of your worst PMDD symptoms or just a PMDD symptom that you find debilitating, like most of them are sadly, then this is a practice that you should find very beneficial. And so when we think about brain fog, we can think about the body's nervous system and how we may be responding physically and mentally to something that may be happening energetically. And so a lot of times when our body is in a state of overwhelm, we tend to think of fight or flight as one of the responses, that we're going to fight our way out or we're going to run away. But we also have a freeze response. And that freeze response can be when we just do nothing. And so we tend to always think of that as a physical response, but part of that freeze response can be the frozen thoughts, the idea that we are not really having any sort of input of information because we are already in a state of overwhelm and overstimulation. And so when we are trying to clear the fog a little bit, or at least be really patient with ourselves as we understand the moment is maybe a little bit foggier than we would like it to be, we can use this practice to help regulate our nervous system, refocus our energy, and hopefully allow us to leave the practice with a greater sense of clarity and a little bit more ability to focus, a little bit more energy to dive into whatever we have to do next. And so this is not to necessarily say that your brain fog will be completely gone and that you won't have to deal with it as a symptom after this practice. The idea here is that we clear the fog a little bit, we give our body time to rest and even necessarily experience the fog without running away from it, and to also help regulate our nervous system. So to create that sense of calm so that whatever we do have to do next, we are approaching at least from a place where our nervous system is regulated. So we're going to start with our waterfall pose, or legs up the wall as this is commonly called. And so I'm going to be using this awesome little ottoman here. You can put your legs straight up the wall. You can put them on the seat of a chair. Chairs are great for this. However, you can put your feet up on something so that your legs are elevated above your head will be totally fine. So this also includes putting your legs up like on a coffee table. So there's no reason you can't practice this pose. Any tool will work. I also recommend having a blanket for underneath your head, and you may want one for underneath your hips too, depending on the surface that you're resting on. If you're on a carpet, say you're using your couch or your coffee table in your living room, that might be a little bit more comfortable. But when you're resting flat on your back, you may want that extra support for your lower body. And so coming down to lie on your back, if you're working with your legs against the wall, think about setting your bottom against the wall first. The side of the outside hip will come kind of against the wall. And then you can slowly take your arms down as you swing your legs up. So if they're going up the wall, you can take them that way, trying to get them as close as you can. Maybe reducing the closeness of your bottom if it feels like your hamstrings are getting too much of a stretch. You do want to land somewhere ultimately where you feel like you can relax, because remember, we're trying to bring the nervous system back to a more regulated place. And so as you kind of come into this position with your legs slightly elevated wherever they may be, thinking about letting the legs relax a little bit here. If your calves are resting on a surface, think about letting your calves just kind of flatten out like pancakes. And now we'll tuck the shoulders underneath the heart a little bit. Let your arms come open beside you. You can turn the palms up to face towards the ceiling. That's a nice gesture of receiving. Or if you would like, you can stretch your arms open wide in a T shape or back behind you, wherever it feels nice and comfortable to rest your body. Taking a few breaths here, allowing yourself to come into this space, noticing your body resting in this position and maybe how it responds. And then breathing slowly and deeply. If it feels natural and comfortable for you, seeing if you can bring your breath in and out through your nostrils. Allowing your body to breathe in the most comfortable way, just focusing on the breaths being slow and steady. As your awareness of your breath sharpens into focus a little more, see if you can begin to lengthen your exhale even further. We'll begin to add 3 small pauses in our exhale, making it complete in the process. So wherever you are, let's take a big deep breath in through the nose together. And then open your mouth and sigh it out slowly. Breathing in again through your nose. Exhale and slowly release it partway down from the top of your head to your sternum. And then pause and release the breath from the sternum down to the belly button. And pause and then release the breath all the way down from the belly button to the hips. Whenever you need to, take another big full breath in. And again, we'll go in 3 parts. First step, and pause. Second step, and pause. And the third step. Inhaling fully once more. Exhaling a third of the way empty. And pause. Exhale 2/3. And pause. Exhale all the way out. Inhale fully. Exhale. 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 Inhale all the way in fully. Now go ahead and do between 5 and 10 rounds at your own pace. Slowly 3-stepping the exhale. Maybe visualizing it as 3 parts in your body, or just 3 exhales. Whatever imagery works for you, move through the next few rounds at your own pace. With each exhale, think about allowing your body to be even more relaxed, even more held in the position. Wherever you are, complete your last round. And then releasing your 3-part exhale, begin to breathe normally, attempting to match the length of your inhale with the length of your exhale. Noticing how your body may be responding to the shape that you're in and to your breathing practice. Taking a few more rounds of breath with the inhale matching the length of the exhale. Maybe breathing in for a 4 count and out for a 4 count. Paying attention to the thread of the breath, allowing your focus and awareness to return to your breathing at any time. Knowing that if you are breathing, you are doing enough. Beginning to add some really easy, gentle movement into your fingers and toes. Finding some awareness of your body. Taking this opportunity to move freely a little bit, rolling your ankles and wrists. If your legs are straight up the wall, you may want to take your legs really wide if you have the space. Maybe bend one knee and pull it in towards your chest and then switch and do the other. As you feel ready, wherever you are, we'll eventually take the knees into the chest. And now if you're pressed right up against the wall, you may not have a lot of room to maneuver. And so if that's the case, no worries. You can roll to your side whenever you're ready. If you are lying on your back and we're using a chair or a coffee table, go ahead and just take a moment to maybe roll slightly side to side. And as you feel ready, we'll all meet on our side in the fetal position. Taking just a moment to observe our physical response. Notice how your body is feeling. Noticing how maybe your mind is responding. And as you feel ready, we'll take the top hand down to the floor and pressing slowly into the top hand, come up to a seated position now. We'll make ourselves comfortable here. So if you were using the wall, go ahead and place your back against the wall. I'm going to recommend that you sit on a blanket, elevating your hips, whether you're using the wall or not. A chair is also wonderful to use here, so you can sit right on top of the surface that previously held your calves if you have that available. If you are seated on the floor, make sure that your knees have any support they may need. If your hips are tight in any way, ensure that however you find yourself seated, that you can sustain the sit comfortably for just a moment. And so one ankle may cross in front of the other, or you may have one foot in front of the other. Take any opportunity take any movements or adjustments that you need now to make yourself feel as comfortable as possible for the meditation. And now, as you feel ready, you may want to go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to start by bringing our hands out in front of us, turning the palms of the hands towards one another as though we were gently cupping a ball in between our hands, holding the hands about 6 inches apart. Taking some slow, deep breaths. Begin to tune in to the energy flowing between your hands. It may be very subtle at first. But imagine as though you could feel a slight tingling sensation at the center of your hand, coming directly out of the palm, energy flowing from one hand to the other. Your fingers can be soft, shoulders can be loose. And if it feels good for you, continue to match the length of your in-breath with the length of your out-breath. Continue to tune into the energy passing between your hands. Maybe developing your awareness of this energy, noticing if it has a color or a texture. Noticing if it feels really strong, or maybe it's very subtle, hardly perceptible. As you breathe, imagine as though the color of this energy could glow brighter with each breath in. With each breath out, imagine as though your fog could clear slightly, as though this energy helped to gently push the fog away. Cultivating this energy in your hands. Take a couple more breaths. And then as you feel ready, we're going to roll the fingertips in towards the palm of our hand, keeping our thumbs on the outside of our index finger. And then joining our knuckles together here with the thumbs soft. You can relax the shoulders down away from the ears even further, letting the elbows relax down towards the hips. Gently pressing the knuckles together here just below the belly button. Notice how your body changes. Maybe experiencing the breath deeper in the base of the body. Bringing these lines of energy together now, imagine as though you just plugged yourself in. Cultivating a strong sense of your own inner strength, your own energy and vitality flowing through you. Continuing to match the length of the inhale with the length of the exhale as you feel your vital energy flourish. observing the strong sense of self-empowerment that flows through this gesture. With your next exhale, go ahead and cross your arms in front of you, placing the right arm closer to your chest. Your thumbs can come in to rest on the index finger, and then gently crossing your arms in an X in front of you. Relax the shoulders a little bit more. Feeling this gesture of safety, knowing that our energy is strong enough to push away any forces of nature that do not help us, that do not secure our sense of well-being. Understanding our energy like a shield, one that presses out and away from us anything that may seek to harm. Feel the fullness of the breath through the torso. Continuing to match the length of the inhale with the length of the exhale. Breathing in equal parts. Now, keeping your arms crossed in front of you, go ahead and extend your fingers up towards the ceiling, turning the palms so that they face away from your body. Thinking about pushing out any negative energy now. Releasing judgment about how you should be. Releasing expectations about what you must do. And allowing yourself in this moment, in this opportunity, to simply be as you are. Your energy filling within, your energy flowing freely, empowering you. And your mind with clarity, knowing that you are allowed and can accept your being. Pressing any negative energy away from your body now. With your next exhale, slowly slide your right hand to your heart, cupping the heart softly. You can then place the left hand over the right, knowing that at all times you can take divine refuge in your being. That even when we are not necessarily capable of performing in a way that society says we should, we know best to honor our being, to accept and love ourselves with self-compassion, with empathy, allowing us to be intentional about our being, resting when we need to rest, and doing when we are able to do. With your next exhale, slowly bring your hands together in front of your heart in a prayer position, lowering your chin down towards your chest. Recognizing with gratitude this opportunity to be with ourselves, to acknowledge our power, our compassion, and to recognize our intention. So as we leave this practice, take a moment here to set an intention for how you will move forward. Your intention may be an I am statement, followed by a positive, affirming phrase. For example, I am focused. I am accepting. I am patient with myself. Whatever your intention may be, repeat it to yourself mentally. Touching the thumb to the forehead now, knowing that we can take our intention into the rest of our day and move with mindfulness. Touching our thumbs to our heart, grateful for this practice that can bring us back to our body, back to our mind, and back to our energy. It's been my honor to guide you through your practice. We can acknowledge one another with Namaste.